Okay, we're recording now. So, hello everybody. This is part 2 from the last episode on which we were talking about SQL statements and how to set up your first DBMS. In this part here, we're going to continue with the plan that we stated and defined on the last video. So after we fire up our services, we're going to create our first database schema. So these are the tables and these are the cells with the information we have to fill in. Create database YouTube example. So show databases, don't forget the semicolon, and we have YouTube example. We say create table and customers. That's the name. And we open a bracket. Then we begin to enter each attribute. Customer ID. Not know, that is necessary. First name, varchar, about 25. Not no constraint. Last name, 25. Not no. And we have an email. I'm going to say 128 characters because usually emails tend to be longer than names. And I'm going to finish everything with this. So let's see what's actually done here. Show, create, table, customers. So we have a customer ID int, first name varchar, last name varchar, email varchar. Okay, but we need constraint about this thing, auto increment. In order to have auto increment, first the attribute must be defined as a primary key. So we first have to make customer ID a primary key. Author table customers. After we use author table on customers, we have to say that customer ID is going to be a primary key. At primary key. And in the brackets, we define which of the attributes is going to be a primary key. In this case, it's customer ID. We close and we add a semicolon. And that's it. Now I'm going to use other statement to see how my table is created, and that is with describe customers. And there we see that we have a primary key. The second thing we have to add is auto increment. Again, we use outer table on customers. Then we have to change just the attribute. Change customer ID. We have to define the type again, int. We have to add a constraint, not null. And then I want auto increment. So I'm going to say auto increment. So we say auto increment space equals space. And in this case, we have to start from 100. So we say 100, add semicolon, hope for the best. Okay. We see that we have a auto increment as well. In order to insert a tuple into the table, we do it with insert into, and we specify the table customers. We open a bracket. We want to cover first name, last name, email. And we specify the values. First value is Ben. The second value is Clinton. And the third value is ben.clinton@gmail.com. And we add a semicolon. And we have just inserted our first tuple into the table customers. We're going to see this by select everything from customers. And there we go. Now I'm going to insert the other values just to complete everything. update customers set email equals Clara underscore Madison at yahoo.com, where customer ID equals 102. If we select everything from customers, we're going to see that the email has changed. And there we go. We have all of the values inserted with the correct data with the correct table schema. As we can see here, we aim to do this. So now I'm going to execute some SQL files that are going to generate those tables, but without the values. The values we will insert later. The first thing that we're going to do is to source the SQL script that we want to execute. That is going to be this directory with items wrong SQL. And that executed successfully as well. So we expect to see customers, orders, and items. Well, we have Alberto, customers, and orders. So let's see what's with orders, shall we? So we don't have a primary key, we don't have foreign key, we don't have auto increment, we have a double instead of decimal, and we have to rename order ID and customer ID with the naming convention that other tables have. Let's just make it convenient for us. Third table orders, change order ID capital to order ID hint not null. So now we have to set up a primary key for the attribute order ID. Alter table orders at primary key order ID. And finally, we're going to add an extra, which is auto increment. Order ID So now we describe the table once again and we see the difference. The last thing that we have to do is to make the foreign key, but that's is going to be easy. Alter table orders, change customer ID. We have an int, not no. In order to make a foreign key, we want to see to which primary key this attribute is going to map. Now we have to connect customer ID from the orders table to customer ID to the customers table. And that is when we define this attribute name as a foreign key and we say that it references this attribute which is in the customers table. So now we alter table orders. We have to add foreign key customer ID. And in this table orders, we have customer ID. So we make it a foreign key and then we say references customers table, which has customer ID attribute. Customer ID attribute. And let's see what do we have. Okay, if we describe orders, we see that customer ID is a foreign key. Order ID is the primary key of the table, and we have a constraint that is a foreign key, which is related to customer ID attribute, which references customers table, customer ID. Let's describe orders, and we had here we have to fix this one. Okay, let's fix it really quickly. Total amount, not double but decimal, 5,2. Okay, let's first try to correct the name of the table, and we're going to do that by using rename table Alberto to, and what name do we want? Items. So that executed. Show tables. Yes, we have customers, orders, and items. Now, again, we want to rename those names. We want to set no values. We have to define primary key and a foreign key. Auto increment, and we have to fix this. So let's go. Order ID semicolon. We have a problem with the total amount. Alter table amount to total amount, not no. Okay. Let's see what do we have. We have a problem. Okay, and now if we try to insert, for example, some value, and we have a 5,000. And we successfully modified the values so they are correct. We have show tables. We have customers, items, and orders. Select database. YouTube example. Okay, so select all from customers, select all from items, select all from orders. Now we have those three tables. Okay, let's see them in the MySQL workbench, shall we? Refresh. And there we go. We have them. They're here. I will do a select statement. Select all from orders. There we go. We have them here. Nothing unusual, nothing different. It is the same. So to finish off with this video, I have prepared some exercises for you. The first one is that we have to find the total amount spent by each customer. We have to display the attributes as it follows, and we have to include the customer even if they have multiple orders, and that is going to happen like this. So we are working with this table, and with this table we just have to join these attributes together, and we have to display everything in descending, and that is going to happen just like this. We get the first name, last name, we sum the total amount here for each customer that is grouped by customer ID, and we join by this customer ID attribute, and we display everything as in descending. The result is the following. Thank you everyone for watching, and the resources about those exercises will be available on my GitHub page. Take care.